Hi everyone, Big Finny Glove Tano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a review of this new Kara Jackson record, Why Does the Earth Give Us People to Love? This is the debut full-length LP of singer-songwriter Kara Jackson, who's been low-key active for a minute now. For instance, you can catch a 2019 EP that she dropped a while back if you dig into her catalog, but it seems like a lot of her progression over the years has been building up to the release of this debut album. And she must have been doing something right in her pursuit of music so far on the Chicago scene, because on this record she's aligned herself with such local talents as Kaina, Sen Morimoto, as well as Namdi, whose latest full-length LP is a whirlwind of different genres and styles. And Kara comes together with her various collaborators on this LP to make a record that is colorful but yet consistent, built on intimate songs that are gentle on the ears and yet intense with passion, and sometimes righteous frustration. The opening moments on this LP are a somewhat awkwardly performed little lo-fi piano ballad, which becomes a clever and funny observation on the things people will do for fame and attention. It's an interesting start to the LP that subtly introduces us to the more theatrical elements of the music that show up more boldly later. Some strong sentiments are expressed on the following No Fun and Party as well, which is not a favorite of mine here for its three-part progression, which I think is very choppy. There are numerous other cuts on this record that operate in what feels like chapters as we move from section to section in the song, but none of them come across as fragmented as this one. Regardless though, Kara still comes through with some hard-hitting bars on this cut, lamenting being taken for granted romantically and told she's intimidating by past lovers. The songwriting gets even more blunt and bold on the following Dickhead Blues, where Kara describes what she'd categorize as dickhead behavior, having her time wasted, being treated merely like an emotional refuge or like a romantic vacation. And in describing this scenario, she reveals how much of a way with words she has, with unique alliterations such as coyotes and culottes, clawing for coffee in open-toed shoes, and evocative metaphors such as when you're feeling as broke as a bottle of booze, like a soda straw strangling you. All of this playing out over shifting, tense, dramatic chord changes that feel like something out of a musical theater production, as there's a lot of endearing camp on this project, especially on some of the dreamy outro mantras of "If I had a heart, if I had a heart," and the assured realization that she herself, Kara, is pretty top-notch, or just above the treatment that she's been receiving romantically on the track. We also have a funny afterthought with this track that comes in the form of Therapy, a short musical extension where she essentially describes men wanting her to be kind of their therapist or a motherly figure in a relationship context. The wit and sharp songwriting continues on to the track PAWNSHOP, whose open chords, hand drums, and frank vocal delivery remind me of a Laura Marling song in the best way. And Kara kills it on the lyrics once again. When you become somebody's bandit and their heart becomes your loot, what kind of player does that make you? And later, you picked me in a pawn shop. I was used but good as new, shiny as a tattoo, but permanent as party balloons. Like, already on the first record, Kara is showing herself to have the potential to be a poet of the highest order. The dramatically strummed guitar chords and slow pacing on the cut Brain makes it feel almost like a campfire sing-along, which escalates into this dreamy display of ethereal keys and some really soft slide guitar too. The vocals especially shine on this one, with Kara leaning on all of these elongated notes in her lower range that come across very mesmerizing as she sings about running away from the kind of love that you deserve out of a sense of fear. The song Free is an interesting change of pace as it kind of thrives off of this very slow, gradual build upward, with the instrumentation getting thicker and thicker till it reaches this crescendo of almost blinding beauty. There's a noticeable change to the general narratives of this record on the song too, with Kara kind of freeing herself from the toxic romantic situations that she may have described previously. Now she is just free and not wanting to be bothered or encumbered in any way, so just stay back. The following Lily is one of the simplest and sweetest, most direct ballads on the entire project. A really honest and heartfelt expression of love and just a beautiful oasis in the middle of the record because of that. The touches of strings and bouncing horns are great too. It's just an impeccable level of elegance being showcased on this one. Then we get a very heavy and dramatic trio of cuts in the last leg of this thing. There's Rat, which if I'm not mistaken, kicks off with like a Fievel Goes West reference. It's a moody narrative cut with some lovely acoustic arpeggios whose story I won't spoil, and the topical focus on the track is impressive, along with some of the noisy instrumental embellishments calling away in the background, really adding to the drama of the track. Then we have the title track, which is a profound and heart-wrenching meditation on death. Kara's vocals are especially powerful and backed up with these thick layers of bass and vocal harmonies, which just kind of add to the song's overall urgency. But I love that musically, compositionally, the whole thing kind of resolves and warms up on a very positive crescendo in its final moments. Then the last full structured song on the project is Curtains, where Kara delivers a pretty interesting self-assessment on whether or not she is worthy of fame, attention, the limelight. Is my life a curtain call or a cane that yearns to yank me off? Am I worthy of applause? Which narratively I think brings things full circle to the opening sentiments of the project on what people will do to achieve fame. And speaking of that opening recognized track, there is a reprise of that song, the second to last cut on this record, that comes to a very grim conclusion. But with the song Curtains, as the first verse establishes itself, the pianos and defined guitar chords that come in have almost like a Pink Floyd quality to them. I would say some Joni Mitchell vibes begin to come through as well. And I love that the song features a lot of bold changes across its runtime, and yet still comes together as a cohesive piece by the end of it. The short closing cut is a very stark acoustic cut with some kind of tense and awkward lead vocals that resemble that of the intro. We're bookending things here. We're kind of finishing much in the same way that we started, but this track kind of ties the record's feelings on love up as opposed to attention and fame. And here we have Kara kind of accepting the fact that she's been kind of left in the dust by this person who kind of rejected her, wanted nothing to do with her, and now she's kind of shaking off the feelings of neediness and want by kind of laughing it off, ignoring it, and I guess drinking a bit too. And like the intro cut, after hearing so many very smooth and confident, fantastic vocal performances across the record, it's clear she's giving us kind of an amateurish flair here with how she's straining a bit vocally on this one. But yeah, overall, I think this is a great LP. The flow may be a bit fragmented, yes, but the production, poeticism, performances, personality all stand out. There's a lot of good structure to these tracks, a lot of thematic focus. The record really has it all outside of a few tracks paling in comparison to others. All things considered, I would say this is a great and very impressive introduction to this young and upcoming singer-songwriter. I'm feeling a strong 8 to a light 9 on this one. Transition, have you given this record a listen? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best, you're the best. What should I review next? Hit the like if you like. Please subscribe and please don't cry. Hit the bell as well. Over here next to my head, it's another video you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Kara Jackson, forever.